Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking these gorgeous flower pictures that I took in my backyard over the summer. And I'm also using this fabulous cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict. Now, I did cut them out smaller than what I normally do, just because I wanted to work with smaller cut files. So let's see what I can do. So I have my little glue mat down, and the only thing that is a secondary self-healing cutting mat from Fiskars that I just feel like I can glue on and not worry about it. And if it gets yucky and stained and gluey, it's okay. Now, if I was smart and had this idea before I actually cut out the flowers, I would not have had to trace and cut these bad boys out, which is what I did. I would have manipulated the cut file in my software, and then I would have just cut out the outline in the same size that I cut out the cut file, and they would have been a perfect match on top of each other. But instead, I did not think that far ahead, and I did not want to pull out the Cricut again and redo the roses and redo the shadow and all that kind of stuff. So I just went with it and went old school and drew around it, or traced rather, and made it happen. So what I'm doing now, as much as I like the white on white look, which is definitely something that you'll be seeing from me soon, just not on this layout, I decided to outline everything in the Nuvo drops. So I have a green and a pink. And I'm keeping this pretty basic. And I have to say my technique did improve to my second flower. So as you can see, I'm kind of like squeezing and moving my hand a lot and shaking a lot. Now this is sped up to 2 times. So it's definitely sped up, so it shows more that I'm moving and shaking my hand. But by the time I got to the second rose, I decided to go more of a long, steady squeeze on the nozzle as I was tracing over the line. And I think that definitely looks better, like the finished product looks better. But the little squeeze and shake method doesn't look bad on the layout. Like, you don't look at the roses and go, oh yeah, that's the one she squeezed and shook all over, and that's the one she did the straight lines. Like, on the layout, I mean, you have to look close at it to see it, but you know, it is what it is, people. Learn from what I did and go more with the straight and squeeze method. So just as a reminder, these cut files are from the Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy cut file shop. Virginia is amazing. The things that she can design on a cut file are tremendous, you guys. Like, seriously, tremendous. I cannot even describe. You need to make sure that you are a member of the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group. She has a wicked awesome sale going on for Black Friday, but you do have to be a member of that group. So get yourself over to Facebook and get yourself joined up for that group. You can even tell her that I sent you. That would be awesome. She's got a great sale going on. In December, she has got so many flipping amazing Christmas cut files coming out. It's just amazing. And then when you join the Facebook group, don't just join to get the Black Friday deal. Don't just join. I mean, obviously join for that because it's going to be an amazing deal, but stay. She gives out free cut files on the regular. And then if you don't get the free cut file, say like you join the group and you're looking back a couple months ago and you're like, dang, that is a cut file I want. They're up in the shop. So you can get, it's kind of like you get it free before it goes for sale. So it is amazing. Amazing, I'm telling you. Okay, so while I am doing this, and I just told you about the Black Friday sale, it's an amazing sale, guys. Like, you need to get yourself on it. Do that. The free cut files in December, amazing. Again, I know I'm just saying amazing anyway, but yeah, guys, you got to get yourself in that Facebook group. I'm not even joking with you. So this did take a while for me to do. I usually like to do layouts where I can do it all in one sitting, or I can let it dry for a little bit and pick it back up later. But with this, I actually had to leave it and let it dry overnight, which is super frustrating for me because I don't like scrapbooking like that. Like, I don't like the process of scrapbooking so much, and then you absolutely have to stop. Like, I could not have kept going with this. These were wet. They would have smeared and smudged and got a huge mess everywhere. So this layout definitely brought in some frustrations for me, for sure. But if I can get over it and do a layout like this, I think you can too. It'll be awesome. And if you're one of those people that really doesn't mind, you don't matter. No. You don't mind. It doesn't matter. Woo, words are confused right now today, people. What a mess, what a mess. Anyway, if you're one of those people where it doesn't matter, if you're spending days on a layout, like this is the kind of thing right up your alley. The Nuvo stuff dries, it looks great, and then it happens. So this is a Heidi Swap sheet of gold on vellum, and it is gorgeous. And I just felt like, as much as I love the cut files and as much as I love the look of the Nuvo, I needed something I just needed a little something extra. I wanted something, I guess, just to give it a little extra pizzazz. There's not really a word I'm looking for, but really it just needed a little extra pizzazz. And I felt like the gold vellum would do that. So I was careful because I want to use this gold vellum in the future. Instead of picking and choosing the flowers that I cut from all over the page, I kind of stuck to one side. That way, if I wanted to use the vellum again in a big hunk, I would, and there wouldn't be any weird like cuttings into it. So I did that. Like, my original idea was to cut a flower that was all the way on the opposite side. And as you can see, I kind of just went straight up there. Now, I'm not like fussy cutting these in great detail. I'm not super worried about the thickness of the gold line. I'm not super worried about if I accidentally cut off all the gold as I'm fussy cutting it out. It's more of just that little touch, that little extra peak of the golden vellum underneath of these beautiful cut file roses. So there we go. And then after I did this and I thought of, I added the gold, I thought, what? I wonder what would happen if I just would have outlined it in gold and done it in black. So that's something I want to do now, is to do a cut file. Probably not the roses because I've already done those. So I'll probably try something else. But I want to use black cardstock instead of white. And I want to use a gold instead of color. So I need to get myself some gold because I don't think I have any. I think I have a yellow and something like that, but I don't think I have a gold. So I need to get myself one of those. So I'm trimming off these little leaves here. And then I go back to the vellum because I don't have enough. I need a couple more leaves. So of course that happens as well. Now I've got kind of this mess on the back here. So I am using washi tape to hold on the things. And that's just because it was convenient to do so. And I'm glad I did, because then I was able to move some things around. If I would have glued it down, it could have ripped, it could have torn, it could have been a whole big disaster. And I really did not want a whole big disaster, you know what I'm talking about? So we made that happen. Now, I knew that I was happy with the placement at that point, so I just did a little ATG there. Now, my photos originally were going to be landscape, And I think they are actually supposed to be landscape. Like that's the orientation of how I took the photo. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta use a little creative license, and I decided that they would look better in portrait. So I made the executive decision to make my photos go in the portrait direction, like up and down instead of side to side. And it works. Now I pulled out some Simple Stories 6x8 paper pads, and I went ahead and matted these photos on there. One is a pink and one is a teal. And while the pink and the teal aren't the exact same shade of the pink and the teal that I have on the layout already, it's close enough of a match that it doesn't like jar your eye. You're like, holy God, like what did you do there? It's not that at all. So I overlapped the photos just a little bit, and as you can see, I'm definitely putting that one photo where the flower's kind of off to the side, tucked in where most of the cut file covers up the photograph, because there's really nothing there except for greenery. And it's not really the greenery I want you to look at in these photographs, it's the roses. Like they're just gorgeous. They turned out great. So here is where I needed to move around some of the vellum. So I just went ahead and did that. I trim off the edge because I do have a little bit of hangover, and that was on purpose. I wanted to make sure that I had that little bit hanging off the edge of the page somewhere over there, because my flower and my gold up at the top literally are falling off the edge of the page. So I wanted to have that same kind of feel at the bottom of the page that I did at the top. It would look fine, but it would feel a little weird to me if everything on these bottom roses clusters was inside the page and nothing like went off the page. So these are some little rhinestone thingamabobs. I don't know what else to call them besides little rhinestone thingamabobs from Hobby Lobby. And as you can see, I am cutting them. They come in like these big, that big one up at the top is all one adhesive rhinestone. And that's a little bit much for me. So I trim them down. I do cut them down individually. I just felt like this layout needed a little something extra over on this side. It kind of felt like the flowers were gonna like tumble off the page. So I needed to give it a resting point, something that the flowers wouldn't tumble off the page. And it is subtle because it is a tone-on-tone thing for the background paper. But I like it, and that's what matters. So I've got the main layout done, and now I know that I need a title. So I am flipping through my thickers. I definitely want to bring in some gold, so I pick out the Amy Tangerine thickers, and I have had this thicker package 3 or 4 times now. I think I have 2 still in my stash, 2 partially used ones. I've just used them a lot, and it's been great. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to put beautiful up at the top, or if I wanted to put it down at the bottom. I did decide ultimately to put it up at the top, but I did not like this right here. See how it covers up so much of that flower? I'm like, no, we need to redo this. So I just pull those up and I just move it over a little bit, just so it's barely covering up any parts of that gorgeous Nuvo dropped flower. I just really, really didn't want to cover it up. And now I felt like I needed to add more. So originally I was just going to use beautiful as my title because they are. But I know I need to add something else now because of the way I have positioned beautiful over the flower. So I grabbed 2 of those little hearts and just nestled them over here on top of that rhinestone shelf that I made earlier. And I'm kind of looking through my thickers right now, and I know that I don't have any gold thickers that match the beautiful font exactly. Like the gold sparkle's a little bit different. But I do pull out these, and it's I go ahead and spell out day. So I am okay with it. The gold doesn't match exactly, but like I said, I'm okay with it. It's close enough. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again real soon.